Elizabeth, don't put that in your mouth, honey. We were talking yesterday about different kinds of weather, right? And we watched the video, and we talked about weather. And so today we're just going to review that really quickly, and then we're going to do another, why is it so cold in winter? You know, since that's kind of relevant. We're experiencing the seasons changing and things are cooling off quite a bit, right? So this is what we watched yesterday, right? We watched this video. He made clouds. He talked about different types of things. Okay, weather describes what is happening in the Earth's atmosphere on any given day. There are many different types of weather, such as sunny, windy, rainy, snowy, and stormy. Okay, and then we discussed sunny weather is when the sun is shining brightly and warms up everything, right? It says you should wear sunscreen. Cloudy weather is when the sky is covered in clouds. And it talks about right here, clouds are made of tiny drops of water. When those tiny drops of water get heavy enough, they fall from the sky as rain. Clouds can have many different shapes and sizes. And different kind of clouds mean different things. Like there's clouds that look really like rain clouds, and then there's clouds that don't as much. Miss Danny, we're gonna mute you, hon. All right. Rainy weather happens when water falls from the clouds. Both plants and animals need rain to help them survive. In the rainforest, it can rain every day, and places like the desert might only have rain a few times a year. And we live in a desert, and so we don't see as much rain and snow as other places. Like we might have snow, but there's not a whole lot of moisture in that snow. Weather scientists can predict the weather. Scientists look for patterns in the weather to make predictions. They also use a variety of tools to help them collect information about the weather, such as a thermometer. And then also what they talked about yesterday, that rain gauge, like how much it's actually raining. So some of the vocabulary we used was weather, cloudy, sunny, rain, snow, and wind. Wind, when air around us moves quickly. Okay, so who remembers what are clouds made of? We just discussed it again. What are clouds made of? Elizabeth, I saw your hand pop up first.
It's made out of water.
Very good. Very good. Now I've got to find my tab again that I was reading from. Oh, here it is. Okay, clouds are made of tiny droplets of water. How do scientists predict the weather? How do scientists predict the weather? Anybody? Owen?
Scientists have made clouds so they have a thing that looks close, and they saw water.
Okay. Scientists predict the weather. They look at the patterns that have happened in the past in order to make predictions about the weather in the future. For example, they know that weather almost always moves from west to east. They can predict which way a thunderstorm will move. Why is it important for us to know about thunderstorms before it happens? I'm just going to give you the answer to that. So we can stay safe and get inside. How does snowy weather occur? Anybody remember how snowy weather occurs? Danny, she's got her hand up. Danny?
Can you read it again? Because I forgot what you were saying.
How does snowy weather happen?
Oh, because when it gets freezing, it can snow because of how Elizabeth said, when the clouds the cloud, they have water, and then when they have water, they could meet a little snowflake coming down the
Owen, please
grass.
take that out of your mouth. Owen, we don't put money in our mouth. Money is very dirty. Miranda, did you want to build on what Danny is saying?
Water, snow is made out of water because the water, it comes down and the wind is coming towards it. So the wind is heating the water, and it makes it into a freeze. It makes it cold, and that's how it falls down.
Okay. I think you guys have some good ideas. Anaya, please put the toys down for now. Samuel, if you could turn on your camera, that would be great. So we're going to keep going. Okay. When it's cold outside, rain can freeze into a solid. Snow is just frozen water. Why is rain important? Why do you guys think rain is important? Ooh, I love that I see lots of hands. Zuhaiti?
To make the flowers grow.
To make flowers grow. Does anybody want to build on that just a little bit? Let's see. Anaya, I've not called on you yet.
Well, I think the cold makes the water frozen.
Okay, so that was our last question about snow. You're right. But why is it that rain and snow are important? That's the question right now. Why is it that rain and snow are important?
Well, the rain.
Oh, you can answer it, Anaya.
Can help animals survive because animals drink the rain.
Right. Well, and we talked about this morning when we read that Busy Body book that all like animals and like all the bodies need water, right? So it provides plants with water so plants can grow. It can provide people with water to drink, and also it provides animals with water to drink. Okay, so now we're on Mystery Doug. Why does it get cold in winter? And we talked about this a little bit. We watched one of that. What's his name? Dr. Dan, or I can't remember that guy's name on that show that we watched yesterday. Anyway, we watched, the weather and the getting seasons changing on that one. So now we're going to watch it on Mystery Doug. Kind of connect.
Hi, it's Doug. Last winter, I traveled to northern Canada, where my sister and her family live. It gets so cold up there that it starts to snow in the fall. And then by the end of winter, the snow has piled up so deep that I could do this for fun. Check it out. This week, someone named Jamiria has a question about winter. Let's give her a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Jamiria.
I have a question for you today. Why does it get cold in winter?
That's a great question.
Now, in some places, like where I live in California, it doesn't actually get that cold in winter. The only place it snows is up in the mountains. But lots of places in the world get cold in the wintertime. In some places, it even snows. And yet, think about it. Just a few months before that, in the exact same place, it was hot outside. You were wearing shorts or t-shirts. You might have gone swimming. Maybe you went to the beach or you had a picnic outside. In just a few short months, the weather changes a lot. It goes from hot to cold. Why? Why does it get cold in winter? Now, I gotta tell you, this was actually pretty hard for people to figure out. For a long time, nobody knew why it got cold every winter. But people noticed that the sun is where we get all of our light and warmth. So it makes sense to see if we can find any clues by paying attention to the sun. Now, you know it's dangerous to look directly at the sun in real life, but what I'm about to show you is just a video. It's totally safe to look at. So check this out. See if you can find any clues about why it might get cold in winter. This is a sped up view of what you'd see if you were to sit in one place and watch the sun all day long. Let's watch it again. Here you can see the sun rises in the morning, gets to a high point, and then starts to set in the evening. If you were to draw a line, it's like this. The sun makes a giant arc across the sky. But now this was during the summertime. Now watch the sun in wintertime. Okay, let's see it one more time. Do you notice any difference? In case it's helpful, here's a side-by-side comparison. What difference do you notice in what the sun does? Now would be a good time to pause the video and discuss.
All right, did you guys see something different happening? What do we see different, Max?
The half of the sun.
Who wants to build on what Max is saying? Samuel?
It's different because summer has no snow and winter has snow.
That's not what they were talking about. They were telling you to watch the sun. What did you notice about the sun?
Tammy.
Owen, what did you notice about the sun?
See, you're laughing.
Winter, the sun goes low, and when it's summer, the sun goes high.
Right. In the summer, the sun was high across the sky, and in winter, it was low. Do you guys think that makes a difference? Thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't. Miranda, you had something different? Okay, really quickly.
How in summer the sun was more higher, in winter the sun was more lower.
Right. So you would agree with what Owen was saying. Okay. We need to keep going or we're going to run out of time here. So we're going to let it go. Right. If you watch the sun, it's high in the summer and lower in the winter.
Okay, you ready? Well, you might have noticed a difference in how high up the sun goes in the sky. In the summer, the sun gets much higher overhead. In the winter, the sun is lower in the sky than it is in the summer. Think about how the sun feels when it's high up in the sky. In the summertime, with the sun up higher, it's sending light rays directly down on you. Like, think about if you're at the pool on a hot summer day. You've probably felt the sun beating straight down on you. When it's shining straight down on you like that, you get hot. But in winter, the sun is lower in the sky. The sunlight is not beating straight down on you anymore. It's more sideways. Without all that heat beating straight down on us, it can't get hot outside. So it's cold. But now wait a second. This can't be the full reason why it gets hot in summer and cold in winter, right? I mean, I mentioned before, I live in California where it doesn't get very cold in the winter. Remember it only snows in the mountains? And then think about tropical places, places that never get cold. By that, I mean places located in this part of the earth, around the middle, places like Hawaii, the Amazon rainforest, or Indonesia. Tropical places like these don't have winter at all. It's like it's always summer there. But guess what? Check out what the sun does in tropical places. Here it is in the summertime. And here it is in the winter. You ready? It does the same thing. In tropical places, the sun always goes high overhead each day. So the fact that the earth gets hot and cold has something to do with how high or how low the sun gets in the sky. But why does the sun's arc change at all? And why is it that in tropical places, the sun always goes high in the sky every day? Those are harder questions to answer, and it's something you'll study in middle school. For now, I can just tell you, it has something to do with the Earth being on a tilt as it spins and moves through space. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Jamiria, for asking it.
All right. So that wasn't too long, but it gave us some good things to talk about. So when you look at the arc of the sun in the sky, in places where the arc is really high in the summer, but it's lower in the winter, it gets cold because the sun isn't able to be as beating directly onto you as it is in the summer. Danny, did you have a question or something you wanted to share?
Oh, so in winter, when the sun goes down, it goes really fast because when my dad goes to work, when it's for a little bit, my mom would take a nap, and it started to get dark.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
Yeah, and that kind of touched on that other video that we watched when we talked about how there's less sunlight in the winter than in the summer. So it gets dark sooner. And also if that arch is lower, right, it comes up and then it goes down a lot sooner. So we have less hours of sunlight as well. Does anybody else have anything to add to that, to think about with the sun, Max? No, you're just wiggling. Okay. Anybody else? Owen?
Do we have school tomorrow?
We have classes online, yes.
Okay.
Tomorrow is Thursday, and we have classes tomorrow. And we'll have classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. All right, boys and girls, if you don't have any more questions or any more thoughts about that, because we could have thoughts about it too, like, whoa, that makes me think about how the sun, if you guys noticed, is going down earlier, as Danny said. It's going down earlier in the day than it used to, right? During the summer, the sun would be up until 9 o'clock at night for some of it, right? And your parents would be like, go to bed. And you're like, but why should I? The sun's not in bed. I shouldn't be in bed. Well, now the sun doesn't
That's
go
what
down.
Mom tells me every single time.
Yeah. But now,
I was also wondering, how does it turn dark if it's sun first?
well, when the sun disappears on the other side of the earth, right, we're blocked from the sunlight. And so we can't, because as the day goes on, the earth rotates around the sun. And so the sun starts over here. And then once, so if this is where we live, this is sunrise, right? Sun comes up, goes through the day, that's the middle of the day, and then it goes around, and now we're on the other side of the world from the sun right now. And so we are in the dark, right? Because the sun we're being blocked from the sun. So we could talk about that more when we later, but that's the general quick explanation of it. Okay. And then now that the sun is going down earlier because of the tilt of the earth, and you guys will learn more about that later, we have less sunlight during the day, which makes it colder, and it also makes the sun go down a lot earlier. So, all right, boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow morning for our read aloud in the morning. Bye.
Boy.